morning. Out on Moreton Bay this weekend, heading over to Peel Island, which is an old leper colony from the 1800s. It's a deserted island, so there's no one living on it. And it's in Moreton Bay, just off the coast of Brisbane. It's beautiful. Pristine conditions this morning, very, very lucky. The only movement on the water is that created by boats. So it's like a mill pond out here. You might be able to hear some of the boats in the background heading out fishing. So I'm heading out here for an overnight camp. It's a national park, so there's no fires, and you have to book a campsite. Basic amenities, so looking forward to getting out and camping on a beach again. And also hopefully catching some fish for dinner, which would be nice. It is a known fishing spot, so I'm not sure how many fish will be left because there's a lot of boats get here during the day, and some of the larger yachts and so forth will also camp at night. So we'll see how we get on, but really looking forward to getting out to this island. It's something I've had planned for the last 6 months or more to do, and it's just one of those things where you got to line up the weather, the sunshine, and the tides. The tides aren't perfect, but they'll do. So join me on this adventure, and we'll see how we get on this deserted island. Well, it's taken just on an hour to get to the island. It seems like any person in Queensland that's got a boat is out this weekend, which is great to see. Lots of huge cabin cruisers, little tinnies, people on stand-up paddle boards, and everything in between, jet skis. So it's a bit of a circus out in the middle, picking the channel. That was the largest amount of chop, and the only chop you're seeing now around me is literally from boats. So, but a very, very nice and easy trip, which was great. I can see ahead of me already there's probably 20 or 30 boats parked up in a little bay here on the island. That's okay, they'll all be gone this evening mostly, and the ones that aren't will be camping on the boats themselves, so that's fine. High tide's just on 9:30, so it's 9 o'clock now, so I'm going to get to the beach, park the canoe, throw my gear up into the trees somewhere, and then get out and do some fishing this morning. And then as the tide starts to go back out again, I'll then come back in before the tide's too low, and we'll set up camp for the evening. Well, the beach looks lovely. A couple of trees just in front of me here. I'm thinking I'm in between those would be nice, depending from any sort of wind we get this evening or this afternoon. And all the boats are down the other end of the bay, so we'll head in here, see if there's any nice flat spots to camp. It looks lovely already, I have to say. Water's lovely, crystal clear. Hopefully that means some great fishing. Just pulled into a beach here to find a camp spot. Turn the camera around so you can see what I'm seeing, but it's a gorgeous day here. You can see all the boats out in the water, hopefully. All in around the bay here and so forth, but in amongst all this debris from the floods, there's some flat spots up the back here, so we'll go up here and have a look. Wow, look at that. 3 eggs. Something nesting here. I'll be very careful of that. Leave it alone. Nice sandy spot just here. The other side of this stump. Ooh, this is a nice area. Bit of shade in the afternoon, the trees. Not sure if this is some sort of track or not. But look at this. Some idiots left rubbish here. Well done, guys. Yeah, this might be nice in amongst all the she oaks. Beautiful old trees. You might stash the gear up in here. And head out fishing because the tide's not going to be here for long. And we're going to catch some dinner. So I'm just going to throw the gear up here behind some trees somewhere, stash it all, get the rod fit set up and head out fishing. Okay, get this lure going at the back. I'm going to trawl down back to where I came in from. There's a lot of reefy, rocky areas there. So we'll head down to there, lure out the back, trolling, and we'll see how we get on. And then there's a couple of little snaggy rocks areas there as well. And we'll hook into there and do a bit of flicking around as we sort of drift along the water as well. So fingers crossed, wish me luck. Hopefully we can catch some fish for dinner. So different to be fishing in an area where there's so many boats. The good news is I've already seen 2 turtles, which is wonderful. Just casting back here into the mangroves. Tide's just slowly on its way out. So we've still got a couple of hours of fishing to be done while there's a bit of water around. So we'll certainly make the most of it. Well, let's see what we got here. Doesn't seem very big, but we'll see when we get closer. Come on, little fella. Can I see it yet? Ooh. What do we got here? Work out whether it's a brim, which it is. Beautiful little brim. Very nice. Let's hope it's size. Unfortunately, I just realised I've left my ruler on the beach. But luckily we've still got our marks here on the side, so check that out. Well, that's whiting and brim there. He's back out to here, so he will do for dinner. Well, that's good news. That's a good sized fish. We'll get him dispatched, and yeah, that'll do us for dinner very nicely. Thank you very much. Well, the minimum size for these guys is 25 centimetres, so this one's a good 5 centimetres over, which is excellent. So I'm going to use this brand new filleting knife, which I was given for Father's Day. We'll fillet him up. Tell you, I can think of worse places to be. Just amazing here. I've got a beautiful view out over the bay here and looking south down towards the mountains and the ocean. But over to my left, there's probably about 60 or 70 boats all parked up right beside each other. Just amazing. Entire bay system here, hundreds of kilometres of bay to explore. They all come out of their suburb where they're living right beside each other, and then go into a bay and they're all parked up right beside each other again. Just can't work it out. Why do they all need to be together holding hands? It's just beyond me, as I said. All this bay even here in front of me. No one there. They're all over here, bunched up together, living on top of each other again in their boats. Just crazy. Because I'm going to enjoy my sandwich here and this lovely view, relax this afternoon. We'll have the fish for entree, which will be lovely, and a hamburger for dinner. And we'll do a bit of spotter fishing as the sun gets a bit lower in the day. Just out exploring the beach now in the afternoon. Lots of shellfish around, which is beautiful. Really great to see a nice clean beach. I'm not sure if it was the rangers or the council or one of the environmental groups came over and cleaned it all up, but there is no sign of man on this beach at all. No cans, bottles, plastic, nothing at all, which is really great. Really appreciate it when people do that. That's why you don't mind paying fees and so forth to camping areas if they look after it for you and for the greater public. Looking forward to just having a relaxing afternoon out and around camp. The great thing about catching a fish early in the day is that's it. As I said, I'm not here to do fishing all day. That's not the purpose of my camping trips. It's really to get out and explore places. So I've got the rest of the day to now explore into the evening. And then potentially as the tide comes in, we might go out and see if we can catch one more fish, because that fish is not a big feed, but it'll do for an entree, and I do have a hamburger as well. So anyhow, I'm just going to have a relaxing afternoon. Just come for a wander down the beach to the eastern end of the island here to the escarpment, which I saw on Gaia. Beautiful rainbow sandstone rock faces behind me, and beautiful lava, gravel and rocks in front of me here going down to the water. So a completely different aspect of the beach and the island itself. So if you do come camping over here, make sure you get down this end and have a look. It's well worth a walk down the beach. Beautiful clean beach, as I said earlier. So well worth it. It's on about 3 o'clock now. Low tide's at about 4:30. So unfortunately, we probably won't get much more of a tide this evening, but you never know. If not, I might even walk out across the sand out to the incoming water and have another flick around with a couple of lures, and then settle in for the evening, have that fish for, as I said, either entree or for dinner, depending how full I get. And then we'll have a relaxing night around the camp. Unfortunately, no fires, but that's okay. We've got the gas stove. We'll cook up a nice feed, and it'll still be very, very enjoyable. Cheers, guys. This is absolutely beautiful. Very nice walk along the beach. Just the slightest breeze, beautiful temperature. Probably hear in the background a few of the boats heading home. As I said, the tide will be starting to come in soon, so they'll be heading back, trying to get up onto the moorings and up on the boat ramps and so forth. So, but there's also a few staying here tonight, which is great to see. Always like to see these people with their big cabin cruisers and boats in general using them. And if they're staying the night, that's even better. But the good thing is, I get to sit back here and watch it all, have some cheese and a beer. That is just beautiful. Sometimes the simplest way of cooking is the best, isn't it? Just past 5 o'clock, so I'm having an entree. We'll see if this fills me up or not. If not, I'll make a burger, but if it does, then I'm just going to have this and move on to a cup of tea and dessert later on. But right now, I'm going to enjoy this with a beer. Well, unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to call it a night. Without a fire, I'm getting absolutely hammered here by mosquitoes. It is a stunning evening, but I just cannot put enough spray on me to keep them at bay, unfortunately. So whilst the exposed parts are sprayed, I'm getting bitten on my backs and shoulders and all over the place, which is a real pity because it's absolutely beautiful out here with a big fat full moon. Sunset going down over to my right here. It's just beautiful. And the tide's just lapping up to the beach here now, so it's literally just on its way in. But it's still about 4 or 5 hours for full tide, but it's just lapping up to the beach here in front of me, so it's absolutely beautiful here. But as I said, unfortunately I'm just getting hammered by mosquitoes, so I'll call it a night. Woken up to a beautiful morning, lovely and still. Just sitting here waiting for the tide to come in. I'm going to pack up camp this morning, get that all bagged up and so forth and ready to go, by which time the tide should be mostly in. High tide's at 10 AM, but we should be able to drag the canoe out far enough to do a little bit of fishing, take some fish home for lunch. It's not a bad place to enjoy your coffee in the morning, I have to say. Well, you know me guys, always changing plans. Forecast for today was for a southwesterly, predominantly westerly breeze, wind, 15 to 20 kilometres an hour. That usually turns up in the middle of the afternoon, or middle of the day, early afternoon, but it's actually turned up early this morning. So what that means is I'm going to be punching into a headwind all the way back to my put-in spot. So what I've done is packed all the canoe up, coming back down to the spot where I caught the bream yesterday, and I'll do just a little bit of fishing there, just flick around, see if I can get something for dinner and see how we get on with that. I'm expecting a few more boats today, being a Sunday, more people not working and so forth, so we're going to have to contend with that as we go across the channel. So at the end of the trip I'll put up some trip notes as well again, give you an idea of distance, speed I was travelling at and so forth, how long it took to get over here. It's pretty easy, and tides and so forth, give you an idea what that looks like for those that want to do this trip. I highly recommend it, it's brilliant. So hang around to the end and I'll share those with you, including a screenshot of the actual map. Okay, let's see what we can get here. There's a fair bit of chop out on the bay, so not me here too long, I'd suggest. Maybe half an hour at most. Maybe not even that. So a few flicks around. But we are going to be battling a headlong wind and pretty strong chop. Well, we're finally inside the shipping lanes and boating lanes, away from all the maniacs and their boats. So I thought I'd share some trip notes from this adventure. I'll put it up on the screen now, but as you can see, the distance across was 5.96 kilometres. You'll see that the journey goes in a bit of a curve. That's simply because of the tide, or the current going between the islands and the mainland. So that's to be expected. The time across was 1 minute and 13 in absolutely mint conditions. The trip back, however, with headwinds, a lot of chop, a lot more boats and so forth, 2 hours. So about another 45 minutes to get back across. Pretty crazy out in the shipping channel. You've got a lot of boats traffic. The wind was chopping it up, and then you've got boat weight coming from every angle as well. So that was a bit of fun, I must admit, getting through there. But we got through safely, no issues at all. The actual camping on the island is brilliant. The water was crystal clear, saw 4 turtles. Obviously caught that fish for dinner last night, which was another highlight. Very, very good condition, the actual island itself, as I said in the video, beautiful and clean beaches and so forth. I was chatting to another couple on the beach and they were saying the same thing. They remarked how amazing it was, just how clean the beach was, and they were going along and catching up a little bits and pieces as well, which is good. Plenty of camping options there. I camped on the westerly end, away from all the crowds and so forth. The boaters tended to be at the eastern end of the actual island, a little protected cove there. And similarly, the ones that were coming over in their boats to camp were also down that end. Now, probably the other reason they're at that end of the island, it's a little bit deeper water, but also you've got toilet amenities there as well. So whilst it says on the website you need to bring your own toilet, you don't. There's 2 drop toilets there in very good condition. They're the ecological ones, or environmentally friendly ones, so don't stress about that. Nice flat campground. There's no fresh water, so bring plenty of fresh water with you. But all in all, a great place to come camping. I passed a couple of guys in sea kayaks, big, long, I don't know how long these things were, 20-foot sea kayaks, and they were marking it that I got across in an open canoe. And that's one of those interesting things, isn't it? People get a bit stressed about open canoes and whether or not you can journey across large tracts of open water and so forth. And I think it comes down to a couple of factors. One is understanding the weather patterns and what the ocean itself is going to be like, or the bay. And the other one is being smart about it and working with the actual weather, not working against the weather. So I could have stayed on the island all afternoon. I'm only about 10 minutes from home, and you know, wandered around and so forth. But then you're going back across on low tide and an incoming tide. So why make it hard on yourself if you don't have to? Give yourself plenty of time on the high tide. There's a lot less current on the high tide, of course, as well. And then you're getting back in a good time, and you can relax and enjoy the trip back, which is much nicer. So all in all, a great trip. So thanks for joining me on this venture. I'll wrap it up here. I look forward to seeing you all in a fortnight's time. Bye for now.